Vegeta, what did you say his power level is?
It's over 9,000!
1,000? There's no way that could be right! It can't!
Alright guys, we're back at it again. Doing something a little different today now. It's something I always wanted to do. Was grade my cards. I feel like everybody wants to grade their cards, you know, PSA this, PSA that. We all want to see our values go up for our nice expensive cards, so we're going to find out how we actually do that. And the first step to doing that, it's going to be a two-part video. First is actually seeing if our cards are worth it. So I actually got this kit for Christmas. I actually don't even know what's inside this kit. I haven't opened it yet. We're going to do it together today for the first time. I have some cards here. If they were to get a good grade, would actually cost a lot more. And, you know, I want to start getting into the slabby patties. So first, let me show you, excuse me, the cards. Oh my goodness. That we're going to use. So, put this aside, and we'll go card by card. And I'll start taking them out of the top loaders once we get started. But the first one we have is Bronzer. I like this card. I think it's a great card. Second one is a great hit, really popular card right now, is the Bulbasaur from, I think it's Stellar Crown. If you're a total G, you'll love Bulbasaur. Sprigatito, one of my favorites. It's actually kind of funny. And it's really cute at the same time. There's a lot going on in the card, so I like that. The Leap, I think it's part of like a literal bio tank, and it comes in 3. It comes with Ralts, you know, just starting out with the trainer as a little kid, and now that the trainer is a mother, it has evolved into a Corilla, helping her with her motherly duties. And then the third card, as part of like the mural sort of idea, is the Gardevoir. And Enchanted might be a little bit tougher to use this grading kit with a Lorcana card because I'm not quite sure how it works with the borders and the colors and what have you, but we're gonna try it out. Then we got these two bad boys right here. The Origin Form Dialga V-Stars, and I got 2 of them, which is insanely crazy. Very lucky. And it's just a badass card, and it's just going up and up and up in value, and I want to see if we can get a nice return on that. I'm not quite sure of the PSA prices. I will list them down in a video, like PSA 10, 9, and 8. And it's just gorgeous. Card is one of my favorites. I bought this for a little bit less than the price tag there. This is the Ultra Necrozma, one of the first gold cards coming out, and I think it's in pretty good condition. And my favorite card, is going to be the Zekrom, the first gold cards that ever came. All I'm missing is the Reshiram, is complete, but this is one of the harder cards to grade. Very hard, very hard to grade, because they seldom come in like good condition or, you know, pristine condition, and I can already tell like the centering for this one is not the best. I will tell you that. Like, it's very off center there. You can see, I don't know if you can tell. I don't know if I can even, yeah. That's a thick border right there. And if you look on the other side, it is not that thick. So we're gonna use a magnifying glass, because it does cost a lot of money to send in your cards. Sometimes 40, 50, 60, 70 bucks to send in one card to PSA. That's Canadian, by the way. Shoot your shot the right way. You don't want to be a chump. You don't want to be a wise guy. And this is another one of my favorite cards. I love the stained glass. trio birds. I mean, that's such a beautiful card. Can you imagine having that in a PSA 10 or, I'd even take a 9. It's such a great card. What a beautiful card that is. So we're gonna see. We're gonna see one by one. And I don't even know how to use these kits, but we're gonna open that together. So we'll put the cards aside, and we're gonna open up this kit. So I don't know what's inside. So let's see. What's in the box? Alright, first thing here we have some microfiber cloths, looks like. Next we have a jewelry magnifier. So I think that is it looks like a whistle. So that's kind of cool. Next thing popping out of the bag here, the bag's just throwing stuff up. This is the centering percentages right here. So this is kind of what they use to see how centered the card is, which is a big teller on where and how this card is going to get graded. So you've kind of placed this overlay onto the card, and kind of tells you what to do. See, it says step 1: decide which part of the card to measure for worst centering, top to bottom. Okay, these. I think these are sleeves here. Yeah, these look like sleeves. So you get some free sleeve. These are display cases. I don't know if you send these actual cases with the card. I'm almost sure you don't, but you might. They give you so many. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 cases. And the cases look just like this case. It looks like a magnetic case. Get the magnets off. You slip that back on, sort of deal. So I'm not really sure. And for protection, you don't want to, grease up your cards too much. You don't want to loop them up too much. So you got these gloves for protection. But let's get started. I want to look at one of these cases first. That's kind of interesting. Yeah, it's the same idea. You just slip that on. It goes on. You can fit a card in there with the sleeve. Card and sleeve. That's pretty cool. All right. Well, I guess the first thing we do is we take out this guy. Whoa. So this is like our bold glow indicates 60, 40 or better. So you want like a 50-50, but 60, 40 or better is the good stuff. I'm gonna put on my gloves. Because we want to be professional. We want to be professional about this. We don't want to. Oh, that is a tight fit. That is a tight fit for the gloves. Other I just ripped it. I just ripped. My hands are a little bit too big. So there we go. There's our hands. Very hard to manipulate the card here. This makes it like way tougher to get into the card. So already with this side, you can see that it is thicker on the right side on the back, which is like disgusting. It's really bad. That in itself is like, we should just call it game over because that is bad. The front looks almost perfect. I mean, from what I can tell. Let's give it a shot. Let's give it a go. We're gonna angle this down. to see this with me. Okay. Let's take our chart here. See what we're doing. I'm getting all the little dust off of here. Let's check that centering first. So, put that right in the center. Oh. Right, that looks like it's pretty in there. The left looks like it's a 2 or a 3. If we're considering that last line before the image, the border, that's a 3. That's a 2. So a 2, a 2-3, or a 3-2 is 60-40. We don't want a 2-1. We want a I have a 2-3 because right here, right where that line is here, if you can see that, this number here is 3. Right where that line, the border finishes, and the image starts, it's a 3. However, on the other side, that is a 2 right on the dot there. Right? So that's going to be a, even if it was a 2-2, but it's not. It's a 2 and a 3. So that's going to be a 60-40 from left to right. Now, if we're looking top to bottom on this guy, it's a 2. Just where that is, it's a 2. And the bottom, just where the bottom is, looks like a 3. So again, 60-40 on each side, which, you know, could be better. You want a 50-50, that's perfection. And you don't even need a chart for this end because you can even see that. I don't even need to put it on, and you can see how thick it is on this side compared to the other side. Even top to bottom, and there's a little, I don't even know what that is, like a little indent right here. So a tiny little damage. Now we're going to put this on the back. Top to bottom is pretty good. However, it is a 3 on the right. It looks like a 2.5 on the left. 3 on the top. Pretty much a 3 on the bottom. 3 on the right. I don't know, it says 3, 2.5, 3 on the left, but that can't be right. Look how big that is. That is a huge gap there. That is a huge gap. I'm just not convinced that. Again, it looks like a 2-3. Looks like a 2-3, a 3-2. So it's about 60-40 from what I can gather on the front and the back. Which is crazy because the right looks so much more cut. Like just to the naked eye, it looks so much more cut. But the graph is telling me 60-40. 2 is just off of the border. And on the other side, the 3 is just on it. On the top and 1 on the bottom. 3 it just touches, and 3 it does touch. It was just under. So that's almost like a 50-50 right there. For top to bottom. As you can see, the number 3 right there. And then on the bottom, 4 is the dotted line, 3 is the solid. So it's somewhere in between there. You know, it's at most it's probably going to get an 8. At most. When I look at the, if I were to take this card again, and look at it with our lens of truth, I don't know if you can even, if that will let you. Jeez, I just put the gloves back on. I'll let you look. You look when I tell you, it shows the very fabric of the card. So you essentially, and the quality is much better than that. Like if I'm looking myself, I can spot check lots of parts. Like right where that green is, there's some white dots. I don't know if you can see that. Let's see if I can see it in there for you. See those little white dots there? Right on that green corner there. So when I'm looking at it, it doesn't come off. So let's use a microfiber cloth. And we're going to just gently wipe this off. Gently wipe the card. So 6 out of 10 worst, 8 out of 10 best, I think, for this card. I mean, I have my hopes high if I think I'm getting a 9 for it, but you know, it's good to experiment. That is a beautiful card right there. Gorgeous. I love it so much. There, let's put on our gloves. Ready for surgery. This guy. It's hard to tell for this one because the borders are like almost non-existent. Because it kind of changes, like on the top it's about a 2, and towards the bottom it thickens out to a 3. And on this side, if you go for 1, again on the top, looks like it's between a 2 and a 3, and on the bottom it's a 2. So 2 and a 3, 2 and a 3 on the top, a 3, on the bottom right, and two. So it's kind of got like a 60-40 on some spots, and on the back. The back is also where you're going to see the whitening. So another thing you want to look for is whitening. That's going to want to zoom in there. You can see along the top here, right along the top, you have some whitening, which means it's been pulled in and out of sleeves. Even on the bottom there, you can see that. Those little white marks all along the bottom there is not desirable. You don't want that in your cards because then that'll take some points off. So they just got whitening pretty much all over. Again, it's looking thick on the right. Top is looking thick, left is looking thin. Again, it looks like a 60-40 at best. And it's got some scratches. You know. It has some scratches on the back. So if we look in here, if I bring you in close. See that? That is some micro little scratches, which wouldn't make it super pristine, right? The Pokeball itself looks good, and that's the whitening. That's the whitening. So just by that alone, it's an expensive card. This card base is about $130. A PSA 10 is about $2 or $3 grand, right? $2 or $3 grand, which, you know, is very expensive. The potential value of it's very expensive. So sending it in to PSA, even though I really want to, I don't think it's a good idea for this one. To like see where the heck. See right there. That's like a little pull. And you want the card to be flush. Right? See another one right there, big one. Big pull right there. So for those reasons, I'm out on this card. It's great, fantastic, beautiful collection piece for my personal collection, but I don't know, graded I wouldn't see higher than a 6. I really don't think, I mean there's not that many in population for graded cards for this, and I've seen worse cards graded a 6. So maybe even at most, and you're being hyper optimistic, would be maybe a 7. Let's say you bought it. I bought it for like 100, let's say. And then you spend another 100 to send it in because it's a high value card, so it's $70, $100. That's $200. If your card isn't coming back at least higher than that, there's no point, because then you're losing money. So you got to make sure that you're making a wise decision. Okay. Right there on the one, and it's a 3. Pretty close to a 3 on the one side there. Right, that solid line there. That's the 3. Right on the border. Now, if we look on the other side, see it's like just about a 3. Right there, that 3. From the 1 line to the 3 line, it's perfect and not dipping anywhere. And you do the same thing on the bottom, and you get a nice perfect 3. So that centering is very promising. Which is great. So if we look, it wants to focus up. There you go. Right there. 3 is right on the border. and the ones that are right on the edge of the outer edge. Okay, we'll do the other side. Right there, you can see that 3. That bold line, really good. Now, the moment of truth, let's do top to bottom, so right there. And if we do the bottom, line is 3 and it's just under the edge. And the 4 is the dotted line. And that's right above the edge. So it's sitting in between those, which is still, you know, it's not a 3, not a 4. It's right in between there, and everything else is pretty even 3s. It's right there at the bottom. So if we get in there. Yeah, you see that little dot? That white dot? That's like, I don't know if that could be a contributing factor or not. There's nothing wrong with the card other than the fact that it's a fraction off of the centering and there's a little tiny white dot. And that's pretty much it. Which they could give you a 9 for that. You never know. I would definitely send this in for grading. That's for sure. 100%. I mean, it's a great card. Looks great. I don't see anything really wrong with it. And I actually looked up the price for sending this into grading with all the options that I chose would be about 70 bucks. Because what they do is they insure the card there and back, so if it gets damaged or anything, it's totally insured. Then they have to do the grading, and then it's based on where you live and the postal service that you use. Alright, last 2 cards here. Let's see which one of you are better. Just an immaculate card. Get our gloves on. That looks like about a 3. Wouldn't you say? Right at the bold line there. Other side. The other side. So left to right. It's pretty even, 50-50. Right there on the border. Pretty nice. Pretty cool. Looks about the same too. So front, I'd say it's pretty good. Very nice there. And last, we go to the back there. That's the focus up. And the other side. Right over there, in the corner there. And top to bottom. And the bottom. And 3. pretty good. Very good on that one. Very nice. We'll take the microfiber, wipe it down a little bit on the back, bring it to the front, and it seems 50-50 pretty much all around, which is amazing. But I don't see any blemishes to the naked eye, which is fantastic. And on the back, oh, see, oh no, I thought that was a white dot. It's just a piece of dust. That's why I gotta do a little wipe test. Nothing is sussing me out here, which is gravy. I don't know if I'm flipping out or if that's a print line, so I'm going to check that out, because now that looks suspicious. No, just seeing things. It's pretty good. Yeah, very pristine. This is a card I'm very confident it's going to come back in a 9 or a 10, like for sure. Very good centering all around, great colors, great condition. Very pleased with this one. Very pleased. So 100% I would send this one out. Get a 9 or a 10. Very confident in a 10, really. So, yeah, you don't have to do this. This is not something you have to do to submit your cards. I mean, you can just submit your cards and have fun with it and see what you get, and that's totally fine. It's really easy too to just use your naked eye. And then just see for yourself kind of what's what. But this tool, I think, is very cool. You have the gloves, keep the card from getting damaged. You have this nifty little guy that can really see super fine details, like incredibly fine if you're not sure. And you have the centering chart too, which is great because it definitely tells you the finer details of how it's centered. This is how it's looked at. What I was looking at is between the between 1 and 3, and each part between the 1 and the 3 had 3 on it, right where that line was. So it's at a 50-50, which is exactly what you want. You want those bold lines, 60-40, 56-54, I think I got on some of them. So it's pretty good. Between 3 and 2 and 3 and 3 is exactly what you want for centering. And then the rest of the time you're just looking for blemishes, so you can get used to that. You can definitely see yourself what's what. You don't need a toolkit like this, but it's definitely an interesting and really neat thing to use. I think it's very helpful. It helped me just now determine what these things are. So we'll send some of these in. I'm not sure about the Zekrom. I'm definitely not sure about this guy. I'll let you know if I do, but that'll be an expensive send-in, and I don't think it's going to be a good return. However, these 3 guys, this is at most an 8, in a Fantasyland maybe a 9, but I'm guessing around a 7, maybe an 8 on this one. These 2, I'm pretty confident in a 9 or a 10. This one, definitely a 10. I can see that. This guy, there's that blemish on the back. The centering is pretty good all over, but definitely at least a 9, most a 10. So these 2 guys I'm very confident for, and this guy, we'll see. But we'll do it on the next video where I send it out in a part 2. A part 2 of us going on PSA, putting up cards, and going through the actual grading process and how to do that, how to actually submit cards through PSA, and then we're going to mail them in. And then part 3 is going to be us reviewing the scores and seeing where we went wrong or where we went right. So thank you so much for watching, guys. That was really fun, and it's exhausting doing that. It takes so much time just to really look at them, but once you do it a couple times, I'm sure you can do it by just by your naked eye. So anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. Stay tuned for more, and have a nice day.